Now at 9, we look into the rising number of fatal crashes on Interstate 44.
The city of Arma voted to increase the city's electricity rate by 1.5%. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have the story coming up.
Plus, Missouri faces a growing crisis in its child care system as delays in state subsidy payments continue to affect both families and providers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities report a disturbing crash trend on Interstate 44 in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. An increase in the number of fatal crashes on I-44 is drawing concern from local authorities, especially as roads will soon become busier with the holiday season. The Joplin Police Department is just one agency who might respond to a fatal crash on I-44. Between January to October 2022, JPD responded to just one fatal crash on that roadway. In 2023, during that same time frame, they responded to 3. In 2024, that number was up to 4. These fatal crash scenes leave a lasting impact on first responders and witnesses alike.
You see a lot of gory scenes and death, destruction a lot of times, and so that can really take a toll mentally.
Authorities say when driving, it's important to put your phone down, slow down, and pay attention. And later in the show, KOAM's Samantha Walker will have a special report on the impacts of fatal crashes on I-44, on those involved, and the steps you can take to avoid them. 2 Carthage residents die in a crash on I-49 near Jasper. Authorities say the crash happened yesterday afternoon when a driver traveling south on the interstate fell asleep at the wheel, almost coming to a stop. A pickup then rear-ended the vehicle at highway speeds. There were 4 people in the passenger car. 2 were taken to Joplin hospitals and 2 died at the scene. Veronica Azucena Marroquin Chavez and Eric Francisco Vasquez Marroquin. The driver of the pickup was not injured. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Temperatures quickly dropping down through the 40s. We still have those clear skies, and the breeze has now started to shift out of the east. So we're seeing warmer air being pushed into our area tomorrow, though that doesn't start tonight. Although clouds are out of the way, everything's looking good tonight. We are starting off temperatures as we head into tomorrow morning in the upper 30s, low 40s. So it's going to be a pretty cool start to the morning by 8 a.m. Already up to about 42 degrees, quickly warming up to about 60 degrees by noon. Our high tomorrow will be getting into the upper 60s, and the same on Saturday and Sunday. However, Sunday we are starting to see a few showers starting to creep in ahead of heavier rain chances on Monday. I'll have all those details coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Arma residents and business owners will see an increase in their electricity rates. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on the reasons behind the rate hike.
I'm not over the moon like
Laura Pryor is a small business owner in Arma, and she's not looking forward to the electricity rate increase. But she's focusing on ways to minimize costs in her business to make up for the electricity rate increase.
to help keep our costs down so that we can compensate with rising costs overall for expenses and energy. We make as much as we can homemade, such as our chili.
In a 3-to-1 vote by the Arma City Council, they voted to increase Arma's electricity rate by 1.5%. This will go into effect in 2025.
If it had been applied to my bill this month, it would have increased it by $1.24, $1.24 for the 950 kilowatts. So it's not, as you see, a huge increase.
Arma City Clerk Betty Lesson says the money will benefit the Arma community. She says one of the expenses the money will go towards is paying for the repair of the city pool.
This money is not spent on raises. It's not spent on outside frivolous items. This money goes directly to the city and stays here and benefits all of us in the long run.
While Pryor says she doesn't necessarily support an electricity rate increase,
But I'm not against it, and I can understand the reasoning behind it.
she believes the rate increase is necessary for the city to make its payments.
There are more than likely behind the scenes things that the community is not aware of that the city's having to pay for, or that they are needing to cover expense-wise, and so you adjust where you can make that revenue up.
The city clerk encourages community members who have questions about the rate increase to come to the city council and learn more about how it will be used. Reporting in Arma, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The rate will increase by 1.5% next March and then by another 1.5% next November. Watered Gardens in Joplin served up its annual Empty Bowls event today. People could come out and for a minimum $25 donation, enjoy a bowl of soup, take home a handcrafted pottery bowl, and help raise money for a good cause. The funds raised through the event help Watered Gardens feed the hungry in the community.
Community to take away the fact that they gave a donation and they're carrying a beautiful handcrafted bowl that they can take home with them, and every time they eat out of their bowl, and especially when their bowl is empty, they can remember that somewhere out there someone else's bowl is empty.
And this marked the 12th year for the Empty Bowls event. Well, donations for our annual Feed the Four States event are coming in, and today Extreme Power Sports in Webb City gathered donations it received to deliver to the Crosslines Ministries food pantry in Joplin. The food donated for this event goes a long way toward helping feed the community.
This part of the season tends to just bring out the need. It's also very stressful for families with the extra seasonal expenses. Sometimes they choosing between food and other things that have come along. So donations like this are very helpful.
Extreme Power Sports is one of our Feed the Four States partners, and they'll be collecting food there through December 31st. Well, if you want to donate to our Feed the Four States campaign, it's super easy. Just click on this QR code to head over to our website, where we've provided all the information you'll need on what to donate and where you can drop off donations. You can also help out next Thursday during our Feed the Four States telethon, and that's during the 5, 6, and 9 o'clock newscast. Coming up, the Trump transition.
Donald Trump's unorthodox picks for his cabinet sending shockwaves across Washington. I'm Rebecca Castor with details on his most controversial nominee yet, coming up.
But first, in Health Watch, researchers at the University of Hawaii reveal prototype microscopic robots with the aim of wirelessly navigating through a person's arteries and vessels. That story next.
The NFL, Sunday on Fox
at 7 a.m.
Scientists say they're closer to making vaccines inhalable. A study published by the American Chemical Society says mRNA vaccines could successfully be delivered by a nebulizer, similar to how asthma is treated. They've already had successes in tests on mice. The findings could be helpful for people who do not like getting shots. More than half of people with diabetes are not receiving treatment. A worldwide study by The Lancet found among the more than 800 million diabetics worldwide, treatment rates are dangerously low, especially in low and middle income countries. The number of people with diabetes worldwide has quadrupled since 1990. The medical and technological worlds often go hand in hand, with new devices providing breakthroughs in healthcare that researchers hope will improve people's lives. And now engineers at the University of Hawaii are revealing more about how their tiny robots can revolutionize future treatments in big ways. Fox News' Chris DeMeo takes a closer look. I apologize about that. Well, it's not a clinical or medical term, but excessive screen time may be causing what's called digital dementia. The average American is using the internet for about 7 hours a day. Now, all of that incoming stimuli and constant distraction could be warping the brain, causing symptoms like decreased ability to focus, forgetfulness, anger, and depression. Author and psychologist Jonathan Haidt says it's even more harmful for kids.
They're online more than 10 hours a day, and a lot of it is just short videos. This is going to change the way the frontal cortex is developing. That's the seat of executive function, control. So I think the term digital dementia makes us think of old people. I think just digital fragmentation as your child's brain is growing. You don't want that to be happening.
To counter those effects in kids, a height suggests no smartphones before age 14, no social media until 16, phone-free schools, and more free play and independence. Now, Congress is also weighing bipartisan legislation called the Kids Online Safety Act to help protect young users. Good luck with those goals. Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, Pittsburgh State football previews its regular season finale. John Dales has that and more in sports.
We're here to help. We are.
Well, we're almost to the weekend, and we do have a nice couple of days in store ahead of rain chances starting next week. Taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Mostly clear skies, light winds tonight. Temperatures are going to be pretty cool tonight, dropping down to upper 30s, low 40s. So it's going to be a cool night. But outside of the cooler temperatures, nothing else is going on in our area. No clouds, no rain, at least not for a couple more days. Starting your day tomorrow, temperatures by 8 a.m. are still going to be in the low 40s. But we do warm up really quickly because we have high temperatures tomorrow in the upper 60s. So by noon, we're already about 60 degrees. Now, winds will also start to pick up as well. Winds will be gusting 15, 20 mile per hour winds Friday and into Saturday, but strengthening even more ahead of Sunday. This is what we got so far through 8 p.m. on Saturday. You can see, or Friday, excuse me, winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour through nearly all of our counties, and then shifting all the way up to the northwest, about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. Those, like I said, will continue through most of the weekend, along with clouds increasing on Saturday. Temperatures are getting up to the upper 60s both Friday and Saturday, even low 70s possible on Sunday. So it's going to be a bit of a warmer weekend. I know warmer for this time of year. It is still going to be pretty nice with these temperatures, but showers start to push in on Sunday. So let's take a look at that future track. We've got those overcast skies throughout Saturday and Sunday. Now, Sunday morning, maybe an isolated shower or two, but really most of these showers are going to be elevated. The heavier rain is when we're actually expecting to reach to the surface, coming in later in the evening, late afternoon or early evening on Sunday. This is about 11 p.m. You can start to see where the heavier rain is pushing into the area, followed by a warm front. That warm front is going to be moving in mostly on the far western sides. We're all still going to get some rain, but the heavier amounts will be north of I-44 and west of I-49. Now, this is about 8:30 on Monday, so we're all still getting pretty heavy rain right when you're starting your day and making your way to work, to school Monday morning. Now, a cold front moves in shortly after our warm front early in the morning. The cold front comes in later in the afternoon around 3:30, 4 p.m. You can see we're not as strong. None of this is going to be a severe threat at all, but not as strong as a cold front. That passes by about 8:30. So it's a quick system. It's going to be moving out of here, in and out, Sunday night and into Monday night. And then we've got clear skies, at least for Tuesday. Now, winds are going to be out of the north following that cold front, so it's going to be much cooler on Tuesday. Temperatures drop down to low 60s, and then they'll continue to drop even further than that. So there's been a lot of circulation about this system that's going to be coming up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We do have a low pressure system. That same low pressure that passed on Monday is re-strengthened by another low pressure. So it's going to be pulling in, you can see even in Oklahoma and even into Texas, snow chances. Likely we won't see snow, but especially in the overnight hours, we have rain showers, scattered showers starting early Wednesday. Now in the overnight hours, Wednesday and Thursday, temperatures will be dropping down to about freezing or a little bit below. So we have some patches where we might get some mixed, maybe a little freezing rain. If not freezing rain, then even in the overnight hours with those shower chances during the day, freezing will take place, especially on bridges and roads. So that's going to be a concern as we head into midweek next week. But first, the showers into this weekend, not a ton of accumulation at first, but through Monday, we could see up to an inch to about 2.5 inches of rain across the area. And like I said, majority of rainfall will be north of I-44 and west of I-49. That's where we're going to see possibly up to 2 inches of rain. Now, Until then, temperatures upper 60s, looking pretty good. The next week will be a concern with cooler temperatures.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'll be really ready for the cooler temperatures, but all in all, that's not a bad forecast.
I don't love the cooler temperatures. I do if it snows. We're not getting any snow likely. I know that's been a big thing going on. Everyone's talking about it on social media. Likely not going to get any snow. I wish, but yeah.
It's always fun to like guesstimate. Like, when is the first snow going to
definitely
come?
if you're still in school too. Everyone's like,
yeah,
school?
For sure. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, coming up, a troubling trend.
With the holiday season fast approaching, you can expect to see more drivers on the roadways, but an increase to the number of fatal crashes on highways like I-44 is drawing concern. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Nominate the 4 states' first responders.
An increase in the number of fatal crashes on I-44 is drawing concern from local authorities, especially as roads will be busier with the holiday season. The safety of I-44 is something many people are focusing on as MoDOT develops its Forward 44 plan. That plan would create areas with up to 6 lanes to help with congestion, including a stretch of the interstate by Joplin. But as that planning progresses, fatal crashes continue to be a concern. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
Each one of those individuals, that's a husband, that's a father, that's a wife, that's a child, that's, it's somebody to somebody else.
Every day, I-44 sees speeds upwards of 70 miles an hour and thousands of vehicles driving between its lanes. It's clear that a trip down that interstate doesn't come without risks, but an increase in the number of fatalities on I-44 is drawing concerns.
So we are seeing that increased pattern when you look just that year-to-date time frame for each one of those years.
The Joplin Police Department is just one agency who might respond to a fatal crash on I-44. Between January to October 2022, JPD responded to just one fatal crash on that roadway. In 2023, during that same time frame, they responded to 3. In 2024, that number was up to 4.
Ultimately, with fatalities, the ultimate goal is 0.
In the meantime, as the number of these fatal crashes seem to increase, first responders are acknowledging the toll working these scenes can take.
You see a lot of gory scenes and death, destruction a lot of times, and so that can really take a toll mentally.
Captain Davis adds that the department emphasizes the importance of mental health with programs like peer support teams and doing periodic checks with mental health professionals. And first responders aren't the only people who may witness these fatal crashes.
My heart goes out to her and to her family and everyone that was involved, and I know I will never be the same.
Eliasa Foster saw a fatal crash scene that claimed the life of a 22-year-old woman. She says it's something that will stay with her.
It really makes you consider, and it really makes you want to go home and hug your family, because you never know when you're not going to get to.
Both Foster and Captain Davis hope drivers remember the toll these accidents can have on so many different people involved. He says when you take to the roads, especially during this busy holiday season, you should put the phone down and keep safety in mind.
We know that there's going to be an increased number of people on the roadways, especially during the holiday seasons, and so we just ask people take that extra time, drive safe, practice those safe driving behaviors, put your phone down, pay attention to the roadway, reduce your speed, increase your following distances, and make sure you're yielding to traffic as you should be.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Missouri's hands-free law, which prohibits drivers from using handheld devices while driving, will be enforced starting January 1st. Captain Davis says he hopes to see a decrease in crashes when officers begin issuing tickets to distracted drivers. Well, coming up, almost to the finish line, December grads gather to celebrate their final semester at PSU. Pitt State's December grads celebrate the final weeks of their college journey at tonight's Gorilla Grad Bash. Hosted by the University Alumni and Constituent Relations, Fall 2024 graduates enjoyed street tacos, games, prizes, and a champagne toast at the Plaster Center. The first 100 attendees even received a free Once a Gorilla, Always a Gorilla t-shirt. The grads we spoke to reflected on their college experience.
So my experience at Pittsburgh State University was actually really great. My parents actually went, well, my mom went here, and the education program is really nice because I'm an elementary education major, so it was pretty great.
It was a very nice experience staying in the Pittsburgh. It's a very peaceful city, first of all, and the course structure over here is really helpful for me.
December commencement ceremonies take place Friday, December 13th. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The glitch that just won't go away. Missouri daycare centers weigh their options after nearly a year in delays of state subsidies. Plus, Donald Trump's unorthodox picks to fill high-level positions in his incoming administration sends shockwaves across Washington.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Missouri is facing a growing crisis in its child care system as delays in state subsidy payments continue to affect both families and providers. Now, some low-income families rely on those subsidies to afford daycare. However, with payments lagging due to a glitch when the state switched systems last year, many daycare centers have been forced to either raise fees for families or in some cases, shut their doors entirely. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has the story.
I have new families starting, and the state is not the best about getting them approved.
Addie Vogt is the owner of Treehouse Academy. She says getting funding from the state can be a little hectic sometimes.
A kiddo that started in August, and I still haven't, her family hasn't been approved yet. And so the parent has to pay me their full tuition.
Not only that, Volt says some kids are with her for months before she gets a dime.
I even have a foster kid who I'm not allowed to charge their family anything at all. And they hadn't paid me since April. They eventually back paid all of it.
Carrie Swinford, the owner of Magical Adventures, says she's heard all about the terrors of subsidies. Therefore, she just stays away.
Big nightmare happened where I started hearing that centers all across Missouri were closing down because the state of Missouri was so behind in their payments.
She says she takes individuals on subsidies, just not their money.
I would have to set up a payment with them, maybe offer them some private scholarships.
Both Swinford and Vogt are still hopeful for the future.
I was never worried. I always knew that I'd get paid eventually. I was just always worried about when.
It's a great place to be. We have a lot of fun. The kids learn a lot.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, we reached out to the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and they did respond, saying they are aware of the situation and are working to resolve it. Well, veterans were invited out to Wildcat Glades for a free lunch today. The event put on by the Newton and McDonald County Veterans Court served as another way to show appreciation for veterans and their service.
And unfortunately, some are not with their family around the holidays. With the holidays coming up, it's hard on their kids. Some don't make it back. And if nothing else, think of that. It really is important because they're the ones that are here doing it and give up a lot for us.
In addition to the free lunch, those in attendance were able to take part in activities like cornhole and axe throwing. President-elect Donald Trump is shocking politicians, the media, and even some of his supporters with his latest cabinet picks, especially his choice for Attorney General. He's nominated Matt Gaetz, a Florida congressman who's faced investigations for sexual misconduct. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more of the reaction from Washington.
Republicans have mostly supported the president-elect's cabinet pick so far, but this might be where they draw the line.
I just think it's silly. I believe that the president is probably rewarding him for being such a loyal soldier.
I have no good comment, and I was taught if you don't have anything good to say very little.
Donald Trump wants now former Congressman Matt Gaetz to lead the Justice Department, an agency that just last year investigated him for allegedly sex trafficking an underage girl. The DOJ did not bring any charges, but the House Ethics Committee launched their own investigation and had planned to vote Friday to release their final report.
If the ethics wants to release it, fine, do it. He has nothing to hide. Matt Gaetz is just straight up and let it out. Let the American people see.
Gaetz quickly resigned from Congress Wednesday, putting an end to the ethics investigation. But some lawmakers still want to see the committee's findings.
We cannot allow this valuable information from a bipartisan investigation to be hidden from the American people.
Even if it doesn't look like it's the right decision early on, it's been my experience with President Trump that it's almost always turns out that it was the right thing to do.
Many also think Gaetz is relatively inexperienced for the job of Attorney General, having only practiced law for a few years. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, a production slump.
It's been 1 year since the actors' strike, but Hollywood is still struggling. Could a new plan from California's governor save this iconic industry? That story coming up.
Well, today was a really great day weather-wise, and it continues into the weekend. We can go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We've got clear skies, limited breeze going on out there, so really not much is going on today or tomorrow. The rest of the night tomorrow, starting into Saturdays, when we're going to start to see some changes going on. Until then, we are going to enjoy the warmer temperatures in the upper 60s. Starting off, though, pretty cool. So overnight low getting down to upper 30s, low 40s. By 8 a.m., we're already about 42 degrees, but by noon, we're already in the 60s. So we warm up really quickly in the morning. Again, sunny skies all day long, though, and a light breeze throughout most of the day on Friday, but winds start to pick up as we head into Friday evening. So this is about 8 p.m. We're seeing winds 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts. Those are going to continue Saturday and Sunday. Clouds also increase on Saturday, starting off in the morning. Some lower level clouds, but by the evening, lower level, upper level clouds just covering all of us, and that's going to stay like that through Sunday as well. Temperatures will be in the upper 60s, low 70s both days this weekend, and then we start to see some late showers moving in. So we can go ahead, look at the future track. All of those clouds throughout the rest of the day, Saturday and into Sunday. Showers could come as early as about 4 p.m., but really these are so light they're not reaching the surface. The heavier rain coming in later in the evening around 11 p.m. just ahead of a warm front that's going to be making its way through. Now the majority of rainfall will be mostly out in the western counties, north of I-44 and west of I-49, but it's not the last chance of rain we're even going to see with this low pressure. You can see where all the winds are rotating around. So there's our low, that's our warm front. And then this is our cold front, and that cold front is going to be moving in shortly after the warm front moves out of the area. Since we are right at the top of this low pressure system, we're getting them back to back. The cold front coming in afternoon on Monday about 3:30 p.m., clearing out by about 8 p.m. So by Monday night, back to clear skies, cooler air though. Winds are out of the north, and Tuesday we're going to be sunny but cool. Temperatures drop down to the lower 60s and will continue to drop further into the rest of the week. Wednesday, low 50s, same Thursday and Friday, and then we'll start our warm up end of the weekend next weekend. So until then, it is going to be pretty nice. So we do have another round of rain showers moving in on Wednesday as well, with the potential of maybe some freezing rain at night. We're going to talk about that a little bit later into the weekend, but until then, rain showers Sunday and into Monday. Sunday, not a lot, but Monday, we could see a good amount of rainfall, anywhere from an inch to about 2.5 inches again, north of I-44 and west of I-49. Temperatures are going to be pretty nice until then, though, so I'm going to enjoy these next couple of days.
Getting up to 2 inches of rain, though, that kind of gets us a little bit closer to back on track.
It definitely is helpful. Now, next week we'll have more chances of rain, but like I said, with the overnight lows below freezing, that's going to be a concern.
There you go. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up in sports, a couple local softball standouts signed to play at the collegiate level. Plus, Pittsburgh State football previews its matchup with Northwest Missouri. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Tickets on sale now for...
After National Signing Day takes place yesterday, a couple of local softball players continue that trend today by committing to play at the next level. We'll start in Liberal. Jordan Goodell signs this afternoon to continue her career right here in the 4 states at Crowder. Goodell has received all-state honors in each of her first 3 high school seasons. As a junior, she was named first-team All-State as a pitcher and helped lead the Bulldogs to a district championship.
It's always just kind of been home to me. Both my parents went there. That's actually where they met. Mom was playing basketball, Dad was playing baseball, and I've just kind of grown up, and we've always rooted for Crowder, and just going on the visit, I just felt like home, and I'm just excited to be there. Right now Brandy's taken over, and I'm excited to see what it'll bring now.
Over in Frontenac, Maddie Call signs this afternoon to join Mid-America Nazarene University in Olathe, Kansas. She'll play softball there. As a junior, Call received second-team All-State honors and, of course, was a huge part of leading the Raiders to a state championship. But she needed to overcome adversity just to get here.
So I had 2 shoulder surgeries back to back, and I actually got cleared the Friday before practice started. That was my throwing program, so I had to work through it, get my arm back. Coach was really great helping me work through that, but finding my arm back and then just pushing through it mentally was a really tough thing to do. Probably since 10U. I know we've always dreamed of playing the big schools, and that it's just pretty neat to finally get to do it.
Pittsburgh State football plays its regular season finale this Saturday at Northwest Missouri. But it feels like more than just a regular season game because the Gorillas likely have to win in order to earn a playoff spot.
That was my message to our guys in the locker room after the UCM losses. You're in playoff mode now. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's win or go home at this point. So for the last 2 weeks, I mean, there's no hiding that. So that 100%. I mean, I told our guys in the locker room, you're in playoff mode. This is round 1 of the playoffs for us, the way I look at it. I mean, we have to win to get in and keep our season going.
We know that this defense is tough. They only allow 60, 70 yards rushing. First in the MIAA, they're pretty good. We just have to come out and score. We have to hit on what we put in this week.
Missouri Southern men's basketball in action tonight, and the Lions dominate their home opener against Ozark Christian 109-79. 4 different players finished with double-figure points: Martin Macinas, Tyreek Jackson, Jamari Lawrence, and Isaiah Atwater. Lions' next game is at Quincy on Saturday. Pitt State men's hoops also playing tonight. Gorillas up in Kansas City taking part in the Bearcat Gorilla Classic. They fall 91-83 to UC Colorado Springs. That drops PSU's record to 1-2. Jeff Boshy's group back in action tomorrow against William Jewell. That game tips off at 7. Closing things out with pro football. Bad news for Chiefs fans. According to NFL Network, Kansas City kicker Harrison Butker is expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks and get placed on injured reserve. He's dealing with a left knee injury. Reports indicate the Chiefs will sign Spencer Schrader off the Jets practice squad. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
It was only 1 year ago when striking actors and studios reached a deal to end a historic work stoppage. But production in Hollywood has struggled to bounce back. Fox Business correspondent Max Gordon is in Los Angeles with the latest.
Those we've spoken to in the entertainment industry say that Hollywood just hasn't been the same since the strike. Productions are down and those behind the scenes are struggling. One union leader we talked to said that about 30% of his 1,800 members are currently out of work.
We had folks who were planning on buying a home, and now the conversation we're having, instead of them buying a home, they're getting evicted from their apartment that they lived in.
Since the strike ended, production has declined and shoots in Hollywood have taken a dive. According to Film LA, shoot days declined in the third quarter of this year by 5% compared to last year. That's especially bad considering quarter 3 last year was in the middle of the strike. The 5-year average down 36.4%. Part of the reason for the Hollywood exodus has been increased competition. States like New Mexico and Georgia and countries like Canada and the UK offer healthy film incentive programs. In response, Governor Gavin Newsom proposed increasing the state's tax credit for film and TV production from $330 million a year to $750 million.
This is about investing in the future of this industry, the future of the state, the values we hold dear, investing in our creativity, this great cultural export.
Production workers see the proposed incentives not just as a lifeline for Hollywood, but as a final stand.
If we can't get this extent or this doubling of our tax incentive, it'll have a permanent effect.
If passed, this new subsidy would be the most generous of any state except for Georgia. It's a welcome move for the industry, but it's still unclear how long it would take to lure productions back to Hollywood. On the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Max Gordon, Fox Business.
The Bridget Jones franchise continues. We get a first look at the trailer for the fourth and final installment in Hollywood Nation. A music icon will receive the CMA Award's highest honor, and a first look at the fourth and final Bridget Jones movie. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
Bridget Jones. But you can call her mommy. Bridget Jones returns. Edgerton and Bateman face off, and Strait gets a special honor in the Hollywood Nation.
I'm talking about Cody Gold.
George Strait is adding new hardware to his trophy case. The country legend will receive the Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award at the 58th Annual CMA Awards. He will be celebrated with a star-studded tribute by several artists who deeply admire him. The ceremony airs live from Nashville's Bridgestone Arena November 20th on ABC. Russell Crowe lands a new role. According to Deadline, the Oscar winner will star in the drama The Last Druid. He will play a Celtic elder who attempts to protect his family from an attack organized by an emperor.
Ethan, are you listening?
Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman unleash the holiday action in today's First Looks. The duo star in the airport set thriller Carry On, about a TSA agent fighting to outsmart a mysterious traveler who blackmails him into getting a dangerous package onto a Christmas Eve flight. The film lands on Netflix December 13th.
You're effectively a nun, a very, very naughty nun.
Renee Zellweger reprises her iconic role in the first trailer for Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. The fourth film in the comedy franchise follows Bridget as a widow, raising two small children alone, trying to forge a new path in life and love after her husband's death. The rom-com premieres on Peacock February 13th, 2025.
You sure you're up to this?
I'm your girl. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby rhino at the Whipside Zoo in England. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.